One question which many people have asked, or some people don't know the exact word to use for it, is portfolio sizing. How do you do portfolio sizing? I learned this concept, I heard of this concept, and I was taught this by Naren Shankaran of ICICI Prudential. When he said no point in doing a lot of research and buying 100 shares or 200 shares, and that was true. Not that I was buying 100, 200, but I wouldn't buy much more, right? So that reminds me of I think 1983 September, it must have been, I'm not very sure, August or September. Both Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and I spotted Tata Power. I bought 50 shares of Tata Power. I mean, I was still doing my articles, had very little money, but the same time Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, was perhaps slightly elder to me, had the guts to go and borrow money and build a position of 5,000 shares. Remember, it was a 100 rupee share, so it was about 5 lakhs ka position, which is big in 1983, but he did it, right? So you need to, sometimes you think you should need to take concentrated bets. So portfolio sizing, how do I do it? Because I do think that portfolio sizing is a lot of science, a lot of art, and lot of luck. So all the three have to fall in place. Now it's very easy to buy 10% or 9% of HDFC or ICICI, but it takes guts to build your portfolio with 10% of Zomato, where you don't know what the company is going to do. So how do I do it is what I can say. So first is charter positions. When I see a company doing well, but the numbers don't add up, in the sense that when I bought Yes Bank, Zomato, or Vodafone, many of these shares obviously would not, Indigo, none of them would have any sensible ROCE, RONW in place, because they are still building, right? So at 48 rupees when I bought Zomato, obviously it was still a loss-making company. I think it still is. It just makes some, Indigo is now profitable, but at that stage when I bought Indigo at 800, none of these ratios add up. So first thing is to build a starter position. You think the company is good, you think they are building a market share, and you think one day they will do well, then you go and build some starter positions, which could be maximum, for in my case about 1% of my portfolio, which itself is high. I actually do even less than that. Then start researching the company. I mean, I'm not saying that I would buy without doing the research. I would do some research, I would talk to people, etc., and then I would build a starter position and then start doing more and more research. And you also realize that once you have a share, you collect a lot of information about it, and a lot of information about it flows to you. You also talk to people about it, right? You go to typically, like say you go to a cocktail party, you meet the person who is talking about this company, and you stick to that person and collect all the possible information. So you realize that all the information that you want about a company does not come to you upfront. It keeps coming slowly. So you then see how, first of all, you have to see how profitable the company will be after some time. So 2024, if I buy a share, I should have some brains to see how it will be in 2028 or 2034. Maybe 2034 is an exaggeration, but 2028. Is it going in the right direction? Will people use more and more aircraft? Will people use more and more airports? So is an airport service company worth buying? Is an airline worth buying? How does it work? Is it making money at least at the EBITDA level, right? So these are the questions that you will ask, and then you will start collecting information. So is it profitable? That has to be, that is very important, because only if a company is profitable, you can build a big part of it, right? You cannot build a portfolio with a huge position for a startup. That very rarely does it happen, but some people do. I can't, I won't. So the company has to be profitable. The company has to be one where I have done a lot of research, so I know it, right? So some time has been spent on collecting data, information, etc., and that will be a big chunk of my portfolio, right? It is the core in my portfolio. I may still add to it, but not on day one. So on day one, when I don't know anything about a company, it will be a small, like typically what you say, starter position. After starter position, you do more research. If you are running a big company, you start doing more research, you get more and more people to talk about it. I mean, I'm not even saying you rush to CNBC to talk about it, but you at least meet people who are talking about it. You attend their research calls, you attend their meetings, you attend their quarterly calls. You do all that. You keep collecting data, and you realize that your decision was right or wrong. If you think your decision was wrong, you just get out. Or if the market tells you something, like you buy a share and the price falls, if you think the market is telling you, look, something is wrong, something is not visible, so get out, maybe you should get out. So I have a stop loss for investing, which is very very different from my stop loss for trading. So at that stage, you decide whether to add to the position or get out of the position, because the market gives you enough opportunities. All I need is 25 opportunities over my lifetime. So it does not really matter. You cannot get emotionally attached just because you have bought it, right? So then you get rid of it. Or if you find that it's worth committing more research, then you commit more research and slowly build position to such an extent that you start liking the company so much that it becomes a core of your portfolio. Then you definitely are holding maybe 10%, 12%. I don't go beyond 15-16%, though of course I have gone in a couple of cases, but those are the super exceptions, right? So you do all this, and then you arrive at what you think is an ideal portfolio sizing. But buying a very small quantity, like I said, if I buy 500 shares, and even if it doubles, it has no impact on your portfolio, then it may not be worthwhile. So you should do portfolio sizing, you should understand portfolio sizing, and you find that the company is profitable, you are willing to spend enough time on research, or you are able to find enough data about it, then you go and talk about it. People are willing to see your point of view, and whatever, that's the time when you keep on increasing your position. So starter position becomes a reasonable position. You put resources of like research, and then it could even become your core position. Straight away will you start with it as a core position? That can happen for a company which is coming after a very long time, coming as a NFO or as an OFS, something like TCS became core in many people's portfolio. So you may not do that, but this is how you will go about doing portfolio sizing. And please remember, there is not enough research on portfolio sizing. But I've done one video earlier saying 25 to 30 companies is what you need, typically like a focus fund. After doing that, you will keep changing the weights, and that will happen because of two things. One, you get more conviction, so you're buying more of it, or the market does well and therefore the value of that share goes up. Both are ways how the portfolio weight changes. At that stage, you look at, is it profitable enough for me to make this a part of my core portfolio? If the answer is yes, make it. If it is not, then don't increase the size, because if it's a startup or something, you're still biding your time, saying when I get more proof, I'll add more. Right now I'll add say 1000 shares, but slowly I will add as I get more conviction. More conviction also means that you will get it at a higher price. So that will look like a more concentrated portfolio. So your portfolio sizing will again come into question. So also see the video which I have made on the number of shares that you hold. So your portfolio sizing and number of shares that you hold, etc., become a total package as far as your portfolio of direct equity is concerned. Thank you.